Hey guys, it's Primus here. Today I'm going to be analyzing the Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain E3 2015 trailer. Holy crap, that was a mouthful. Well, today basically what I'm going to be doing is going to be watching the trailer here with you guys, as you see here. Let's pause the video right here, where it says, "It is no nation we inhabit, but a language. Make no mistake, our native tongue is our true fatherland." Essentially, that's from Emil Cioran, Romanian philosopher. It basically makes sense, you know, whatever invaders invade your land, you're always going to speak your native tongue, you know, like, when the Native Americans got invaded by the, I guess, the Europeans and everything like that, they still stick with their language and everything. Hell, they even use their language to this day. So I guess they're trying to kind of reference something to that, to Metal Gear. I don't know why. Maybe the fact that you're invading other countries, like in the African countries there, you know, like I think in Uganda or some other places, I don't know. Also, Afghanistan as well, basically being invaded by Russia during this time period since in the 80s and everything. So I guess they're also trying to like talk about that as well. But let's continue on with the actual trailer. So let's see here. Okay, Diamond Dogs. So let's pause it right here. Most likely this is the base of Diamond Dogs, the mother base if you would, just the fact that it has a symbol there and there's blood, so there's probably some chaotic stuff going on. So let's continue. We see a whole bunch of dead people there. The person who's talking, I'm not really sure who it is. Could be Psycho Mantis. I don't know. And the reason why I say it could be Psycho Mantis, maybe when he's older. I don't know if you guys know who this person is talking. I don't know if he was in Ground Zeroes, like Skull, if that's his Skull's voice, or this is someone else. But I can't really remember Skull's voice too well. But it could be Psycho Mantis for the fact that he's talking about people invading his lands and everything. Actually, I think this is Skull's voice. I lie. I think it is. But let's continue with the trailer because there's a little scene here. You see here, let's pause it right there, where we see Snake with no shrapnel on his head, right? So if we continue the footage, let's continue. Okay. You saw the red light coming forward is obviously the flashing of the alarms in the facility, but the red flash can represent that he's becoming evil, he's becoming darker, he's becoming the devil, and he has a shrapnel horn-like thing coming out of his head. We don't know exactly what it is. Obviously, we know that apparently from Ground Zeroes, after he gets into that big firefight and his mother base gets attacked and everything like that, and he has shrapnel sticking out apparently, but we don't know. My theory is actually I don't know if this is actually shrapnel stuck in his head, or psychologically speaking, it's just some fake shrapnel that Big Boss created, and throughout the game as you progress, which you will see in this video as well. Let's continue, and then I'll explain a little bit more about that theory I have. So it's very small, as you see the horn's very small, okay? And then bam, the horn got bigger, okay? Beforehand, it was half the size. Now it's much bigger, much wider as well. And my theory on this horn is basically it's going to play a part in which how it progresses the story. I'm not really sure if it's going to be like Mass Effect, in which you can choose different decisions where you want to kill somebody or save somebody, or free the. I believe there was like some African people that were slaves, African children that were slaves and everything and became soldiers. Can you save them and make them soldiers? That's a good decision. Or you could do the bad decision and just end their misery and kill them, or I don't know what's going to go on with that. We were not sure if it's going to be like Mass Effect, where you can decide what to do and everything with certain missions and everything, or it's basically just going to be very linear. Metal Gear games have always been linear, but I'm assuming it's going to be like that, in which as you progress through the game and as Snake does, Venom Snake that is, starts doing these acts that are very heinous or very awkward or very mean or something, he starts having this shrapnel horn growing out. A lot of people are saying, oh, it's just shrapnel that guy got stuck in Ground Zeroes, and then basically You know, when you get a foreign object stuck in your body, it starts protruding out, and this is what's happening. So it's kind of doing like a double meaning to itself, like, oh, okay, the shrapnel does exist, it's just getting pushed out slowly by your body. I'm sorry, if you had shrapnel like that coming out, it looks like the shrapnel is getting wider and wider and wider and wider. So that thing, it has to be big towards the end. I don't know how that's physically possible. I know there's people who've gotten railroad spikes stuck in their heads and everything, but I really don't think this is the case. I think he really just has like maybe a little small piece of shrapnel, and psychologically speaking, in his mind, Big Boss's mind, that thing is growing as he progressively becomes more evil. As we can see here, he's drenched in blood all over his face. We see that he gets the ashes of his dead comrades and rubs it on his face on the other trailers. So maybe he's trying to, like, maybe he's losing his mind, or maybe we don't know who he is exactly, because a lot of people are saying this is not the real Snake. But let's continue on with that. But that's my theory. I think it's the shrapnel's not really growing. It's just psychologically speaking, it's just basically a symbol of Snake going down the dark path and becoming who he is as, you know, Big Boss that we know in the other games, you know, the MSX games and Metal Gear Solid 4 and 2 and 1 and everything, that he's an evil dictator and everything like that. Maybe he does become evil, or maybe obviously Zero was tainting his name and doing a whole bunch of stuff with his name and accusing of him of being a terrorist, but he isn't. But maybe in this game, we don't know yet. Like I said, a lot of people are saying this is not really Snake, but rather than a copy, a clone, or something like that. A lot of people are saying it's Gray Fox, and the fact that this guy is basically... oh, I have a good theory for that, but I'll get to that a little bit later on. So we see here Snake drenched in blood. I just thought of an awesome theory about Snake, and people saying that it could be Gray Fox. So, okay, so from the man who sold the world. So, let's pause it there with Skull's face. Basically, the man who sold the world. I don't know the song, but based on the title of the song, if you don't even know the song, if you just hear the title of the song, it seems like maybe Snake is selling out. Maybe Snake is selling out to the point where he's selling out to Skull over here, because we do see some footage, and we will see some footage of Skull and Big Boss hanging out. So let's continue. I think they show it here, actually. So we see Skull here. Obviously, it's Snake playing the music, because they said they were going to do that. Then we see him in the hospital. Okay. It was from Ground Zeroes, I think. No, a lie, it wasn't from Ground Zeroes. It was from another trailer. But we don't know. See, like, they're focusing on that scene. Why they're focusing on that scene? We've seen that scene plenty of times. So there's some significance to the scene of that's maybe the real Big Boss. And you see there, Big Boss is kind of like dazed, kind of like PTSD. Miller lost his body parts, as we know. That's towards the beginning of the mission. And that's, let me pause it right there. Right where you see Miller and Big Boss walking together, you see the shrapnel horn. It's small. And they did say that the Miller mission, that you save him with his, you know, body parts, removed and everything, is basically towards the beginning of the game. So the fact that the Miller mission is towards the beginning of the game, and also the fact that his shrapnel horn there hasn't grown, is an indication that this is just basically, starting off. This is like, Big Boss isn't corrupted yet. He's still good, probably. And you'll see the progression of his horn going throughout as you see different scenes of him doing heinous acts, murdering himself covered in blood and everything like that. But let's continue the video. There's Ocelot. I'm going to pause there with Ocelot. I just want to make a quick reference. Ocelot reminds me of Doc Brown from the Back to the Future 3, where he's wearing the trench coat. I don't know if it's me. Do you guys agree? Does Ocelot look like Doc Brown from Back to the Future? Let's continue. Sorry, I just had to say that. It's always been kind of in my head. Fox Engine looks awesome. Alright, let's pause it here. I don't know who this old man is, and we hear this guy talking about, civilizations and all this stuff, and it's going to get to the point where it's going to talk about linguistics and language, but I really don't know who this is. Some people are saying this is a Native American guy who has some significance, probably psychologically speaking, for like maybe the therapist of Snake. Alright, let's pause it right there. So, with that being said, we see Miller here. Miller, as we can tell, is already missing his arms and everything. So this is probably occurring a little bit, probably after the first scene of where we see, Miller getting rescued. So, and we see Quiet. And the thing is, Miller doesn't trust Quiet, all right? And as we can see here in the other scenes where Quiet does get electrocuted, something happens here. We don't know if either A, she's an enemy, B, she has a hidden agenda and Miller found out and he's trying to interrogate her and find out the information, or C, you know, they were on a Big Boss or Venom Snake. We'll call him Venom Snake. Venom Snake was on a mission with Quiet and somehow he got captured. And Miller's wondering, why didn't you go after him? Why did he get captured? Weren't you there? What the hell? Were you giving him wrong intel? Was this all a lure and a trap to capture Venom Snake? You know, what's going on here? So we don't know really why Miller's angry at Quiet here. Although we do know that Quiet is a character for some reason does not like Big Boss and the other characters here for some reason. We don't know yet. And then, okay, let's pause it right there. That is clearly Ocelot. And that is clearly Otacon's father, who's, what was it? I forgot his name. Whatever, we'll call him Otacon Sr. Otacon Sr. basically is in the previous games with Snake. He's in Peace Walker. You know, Big Boss, not Solid Snake. So many freaking snakes in this game. So basically, he's like the Otacon equivalent for Big Boss. Okay, and funny enough, this is Otacon's father. So Stewie, I think it's Stewie or something like that. Stewie, QE, or something like that. Some weird name like that. So they're interrogating him. We don't know why. Did he give out false information? Did he get interrogated by the other people and basically is a double agent? We don't know if he basically, you know, messed up during a mission and they're interrogating him to find out if he's really a spy or he is a spy and they found out, or what. You know, we don't really know the context. Same thing with Quiet, you know, and that's obviously Ocelot there. Let me pause it right there. It's really hard to pause this thing, but I'm going to have it imaged right there of basically Miller and his eyes. It's really weird. His eyes they're kind of reminds me of you know, blind people, in which, you know, with certain blind people, not all blind people, but people with you know, seeing disabilities. We'll call them visual impairments, if you would. People with visual impairments essentially, when they have chemical accidents or their eyes don't no longer work anymore, they usually get this kind of like foggy whiteness, or this kind of like, you know, pitched white kind of clear look, just for the fact that the eyes can't see anymore. So maybe Miller is actually visually impaired now, or maybe has contacts, or maybe some people are saying that he has some type of new nano machine that's you know, converting his eyes, or he's like some type of robot maybe, and that's why he was always wearing sunglasses to cover up those eyes, because he doesn't want people to know. Or maybe the fact that they did something to his eyes and he lost his eyes, because I think he does go blind. I think I read somewhere, didn't he go blind in the rescue mission where they cut off his legs and it cut off his eyes? Could that be it? But it doesn't really explain it too well, because we see other scenes where Miller is looking at the person directly, unless he's like, he has really good hearing, like a cat or something, and he can like pinpoint the location. He's like Daredevil, like, oh, echolocation, I can find you. But we don't know what the situation with these eyes. They show the eyes for a reason. So that means that's probably the reason why he's wearing sunglasses. And then we see, you know, we'll continue on. We see a whole bunch of soldiers in front of Miller. I feel like Miller's going to be taking the place of Big Boss when he leaves, or Venom Snake when he gets kidnapped or something. We see Venom Snake fighting here. We don't know why. Maybe Miller, if you guys don't know, I'm going to pause it right here. Spoilers alert. Okay, if you haven't played Peace Walker, Miller is basically working with Zero, not in a way as an ally, but more of kind of like a partnership of like, okay, if you do this for me, I can do this for you. We're not friends, but we'll help each other out. And Miller has that kind of weird connection with Zero. Maybe Miller, when he finds out what Zero's doing, attacks the base and all this stuff, if that is Zero attacking the base of Mother Base and everything from Ground Zeroes, maybe he gets pissed and he says, screw it, I'm gonna revolt against Zero this time and help out Big Boss. But maybe most likely here, Miller's like, I'm gonna take over this base. Diamond Dogs is gonna be mine now. We have to get rid of Big Boss because he's a problem, because I promised Zero that I was gonna, help him out and, do the situation with the... Hey guys, it's Primus here. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to see more videos like this one, press the link in the top left corner right there. Otherwise, press the link in the top right corner to take you to a random ass video. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, Primus0, and follow me on Facebook and Twitter. This is Primus. Keep it crunchy and peace out.